Most people spend their lives fighting battles they were never meant to win. They fight the past. They fight other people's opinions. They fight events already decided by fate. And in doing so, they slowly exhaust themselves. But more than 2,000 years ago, a Stoic philosopher discovered a brutal truth about power. Real strength does not come from controlling everything. It comes from knowing exactly what cannot be controlled. And once you understand this distinction, something strange happens. Life becomes quieter, clearer, and strangely, more powerful. A man named Epictetus was born into slavery. He owned nothing, not even his own body. One day, his master twisted his leg violently during an argument. Epictetus calmly warned him, "You will break it." The man kept twisting, and the bone snapped. Epictetus did not scream. He simply said, "I told you it would break." Imagine that moment. A man with no freedom, no wealth, no control over the cruelty of another human being. Yet he remained calm, not because he was weak, but because he understood something most people never learn. There are two kinds of things in life: things that belong to you and things that never will. This idea became the foundation of Stoic philosophy. It was taught clearly by Epictetus. Some things are within your control, others are not. Within your control are your choices, your judgments, your discipline, your response to events. Outside your control are other people's opinions, your reputation, your past, random misfortune, and the behavior of the world itself. Most human suffering begins when people confuse these two categories. They try to control what belongs to fate, and they neglect the only thing that truly belongs to them, their mind. The Stoics believed emotional chaos comes from this mistake. When you try to control the uncontrollable, life becomes a constant struggle. You become angry when people disagree. You become anxious about outcomes. You become frustrated when reality refuses to obey your expectations. But when your focus changes, when your effort is directed only toward what is truly yours, something remarkable happens. Your inner world becomes stable, not because life becomes easy, but because your peace is no longer dependent on the outside world. Look at modern life. People try to control their image on social media. They obsess over likes, over comments, over how strangers perceive them. But the truth is simple. You cannot control what people think about you. Not your boss, not your audience, not even your friends. You can only control what you do. And yet, millions of people sacrifice their peace trying to manage things that were never theirs to manage. Consider stress at work. You prepare for a meeting, you work late, you do everything right, and still someone criticizes your work. Most people react with anger or self-doubt, but the Stoic response is different. The Stoic asks a simple question: was the effort mine to control? Yes. Was the outcome mine to control? No. Once you accept this truth, the emotional weight disappears, because the only thing you measure yourself against is your own action. This principle also changes how we see failure. Failure feels devastating when people believe they should have controlled the result, but results are never fully yours. The Stoics understood this clearly. You control the effort, you control the discipline, you control the integrity of your actions. Everything else belongs to fate. Control your mind, or the world will control it for you. External events are powerful only when your emotions depend on them. Remove that dependency, and the world loses its grip. Your peace should never be held hostage by things outside your authority. If your happiness depends on outcomes, approval, or luck, you will always feel fragile. True stability begins within. Events themselves are neutral. It is your judgment that gives them meaning. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. And in that sentence lies the secret of resilience. Accept what you cannot control, but dominate what you can. This balance is the essence of Stoic strength. Not passive surrender, but disciplined focus. Freedom begins where illusion ends. The moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you reclaim enormous mental energy that can now be directed toward mastery. Most people believe power means shaping the world exactly as they want it, but the Stoics understood something deeper. The world is unpredictable, people are unpredictable, fortune itself is unpredictable. Trying to control all of it is like trying to command the ocean. But your mind, your judgment, your response to events, these remain yours, even in chaos, even in loss, even in suffering. This is why a slave like Epictetus could be more internally free than emperors, because real power does not come from controlling reality. It comes from mastering the only domain that truly belongs to you, your mind. And once you understand this first law of Stoic power, life stops feeling like a war against the world. Instead, it becomes a quiet practice, a discipline of acceptance, and a relentless mastery of self. If this idea changed the way you see control and acceptance, take a moment to reflect on it. Because Stoic wisdom is not meant to be heard once, it is meant to be practiced daily. If you want to master your emotions, sharpen your discipline, and think like the Stoics, subscribe to the channel. And if this message resonated with you, write "I control my mind" in the comments. Sometimes a single sentence can remind you where real power lives, inside you.